Do not adjust your TV sets or mobile devices. Super League is on a Saturday, a rare Saturday appearance with my social calendar making me unavailable tomorrow. And I am delighted that much like London buses, sometimes you wait ages and then two come along at once. I have not one but two co-coms tonight because I am knackered today. I even had a midday nap. I really am getting that old now. But let's get straight in and say hello. First, in one corner, we've basically got two halves of one of the biggest deals potentially in Super League history. In one corner, we've got the man who first agreed to co-coms. Welcome back to the stream, Mr. Dimble.
Welcome, Fifey. Welcome, everyone, the masses, the millions. Good evening to everyone.
How did Grimsby get on today? I've not looked at the results. As soon as I saw that Swindon lost the early kickoff, I lost all interest in football.
We drew 0-0. And, well, a clean sheet is something of a rarity. So, yeah, it was, to be fair, it was a shit show last week and the week before that. So, yeah, that is a massive improvement for us.
Mate, you don't have to talk to me about shit shows in League Twos, that's for sure.
I know, mate. Yeah, we're both going through it in different ways, I think. But, yeah, you've signed some good players, though. We haven't really. So
We'll see. We'll see how good they are in a week or two's time, that's for sure. Did you enjoy all of the announcements on the last stream? There seemed to be a real buzz in the air after, Saturday Super League transfers being added, whatever else I threw into the mix at the time as well. There certainly seemed to be a shift in mood. At least I felt it from the messages I was seeing.
Yeah, I didn't hear the transfer news. I was still ringing. My ears were still ringing from the website update because that was such amazing. I mean, 14 seasons of results on there from me, but Martin gets all the credit for putting like 2 pictures and 5 results on. So thanks, Martin. Thanks for your contribution.
It's a team game, this Super League.
Team effort. No, to be fair, I got bored of doing it and Martin took over, so I appreciate that. I do actually appreciate it. I'm only joking.
Let's bring on the third piece of this triangle tonight. Evening, Duggan.
All right, lads, how we doing? That Grimsby result was always going to be nils as soon as Steve Wright said he would bet on a minimum of 2 goals pre-kick-off.
Yeah, we conceded 13 in the last 3 games and scored about 7 ourselves. So yeah, it was nailed on, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, credit to Martin for updating the website. I'm just waiting for the Campbell conspiracy theory to link Sloth's good form with Martin having had access to the save to update the website. So watch it. Could be coming. Could be coming.
Interestingly, I actually momentarily did consider this, but thankfully I can put the disclaimer out that he's doing it all off his own back and has no access to the save.
What will we do? What will we do? How else will we explain a team having a good run, Fifey, mate?
Well, maybe it's just Alf knows what he's doing and he's destined for a playoff place.
Can you imagine if Alfbridge got a star this year after like 84 years of being in the Super League? Big class.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Evening, Jens. It's what, 10 to 11 his time, but he was all for midnight Super League, that's for sure. Duggan, I'll ask you the same question. You mentioned the website there, but did you notice a shift in atmosphere? There seems to be a buzz in the air again after Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, nobody needs to know what my view on transfers is, but it is the content generator. It is the when you're doing crap, it is the thing that lures you back in. When you're doing okay but not great, it's the thing that wants to make you kick on. And I think we'll get the mine and Dimble's deal, but we've both done it for the same reasons, really. And yeah, it just keeps it ticking along in between shows. I think I appreciate the admin it takes, Fifey. Haven't been there myself, but I've long said transfers are the thing that keeps the out of game week interest peaked, I think. So yeah, cheers, mate.
No worries at all. Glad to have offered a bit of respite and entertainment for everyone. Speaking of respite and entertainment, again, the reason we're doing this tonight is because I'm busy tomorrow. I'm out with a certain unicorn. Indeed, yep. And all of that will be going on. No dramas about that at all.
That's getting clipped, that, innit?
Yeah, absolutely. So if someone isn't already clipping that,
as I was doing it, I regretted it instantly.
That is on the internet for everybody. Let's not forget, I don't just stream this on the Super League socials. I also put it out on my personal X as well. So the amount of Swindon fans on there that have just seen you do that.
I'm not responsible for your output.
So yes, we are hoping to meet up early enough to perhaps record some late limbs content as well. So if there's anything you'd like from a face-to-face interaction between me and Smuts as opposed to on the screen, then just fire them into either of our DMs and I'm sure we can sort it out should time be sufficient. But let's not get carried away with things in the future and let's deal with the here and now. So tonight, a load of big games. I mean, that Badgers Vikings game looks very, very tasty to me. Dimble, you're away at Stee. Ahead of the game, you feeling quite confident?
Not particularly. I've got a decent record against Stee. It's like a bit 50-50. So it's one of them. It feels like a bit of a coin flip. I'm away, which makes it harder. It feels like if I lose tonight, my season would be kind of dying away, but then I have got some big deals coming in, so maybe that wouldn't be the case. But yeah, it feels like a win would get me right back on track.
And Duggan, you're also away tonight to bottom of the league and someone you know very well. What are your thoughts ahead of it?
It's got all the hallmarks of a Sancte struggle. Whether it was Dragons or Sancte, it's the games where I don't turn up and kind of drop 3 points when it really should be assured because Hopkins has reverted to form and been really poor. But yeah, we'll see. No easy games in the Super League, and Los Santos are definitely due a result.
No, they are. And there's the thing is, as I said, I think possibly the show before last, it's very rare they're properly humbled in a game. They're generally in them as well. So you know that it is coming. If it's okay with you guys, I'll just play them in any particular order. I know you guys aren't precious about being last and penultimate, so just go as the game dictates.
Fine by me, yeah. I don't like being on last, so I'm happy to go earlier, to be fair.
No worries. We're starting with LSK Sancte. Jamie has made a couple of alterations. The tactic remains the same. He is without a couple of players. Vasilyuk out, Aymar out for this one. A number of unhappy players in the first team, as you'd expect, being bottom of the table. Bergkamp comes back into that AM role. And, Albertini is a significant downgrade on Aymar, although it was pointed out last time that Aymar's not exactly contributed a great deal to this LSK team. Dimble, I'll let you sort of talk your way through Jamie's side with Duggan being the opposition.
Yeah, looking at these squad and the deals he did, I thought there's a challenge there's a squad there that's good enough to challenge, but then looked at kind of Hopkins' history in the league. And I think in my prediction, I put in kind of 12th, 11th, just for that reason. And it's kind of unfortunately turned out that way. But yeah, he's got some good players in there. I just think it lacks a bit of bite in the middle. The rest of it is pretty damn good. Bergkamp and Albertini are questionable, but he has got better players kind of in the squad that have let him down so far.
Yeah, no, 100%. But as Dunn said, they are due a result, and there is talent in that team. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised personally, to an extent, given that things haven't necessarily gone his way, that there hasn't been maybe more of a freshen up on the tactics, or if he's sticking with this. You know, I mean, Lizarazu's be perfectly fine, but you've got players like Overmars there who could just offer something a little bit different if you try to mix it up. I mean, Silvestri as well, another one who a lot of teams have had success with in the past. So perhaps being underutilized. Let's go to the away side. And Duggan, you've mixed it up a little bit as well. If I remember rightly, you've swapped back and Ronaldinho around, and Ambrosini has come in for Gerrard.
Yeah, so for those that probably, well, there's not many people that probably haven't seen the tweet and the kind of the deal that we've done, but Ronaldinho plays his last game for Sanctier tonight, so it was only right that he dropped back to AMC and kind of played where he's been so good for so long. For me, the best player this iteration by a million miles, or certainly the most exciting player this iteration. And it's Dimble's turn to kind of have him and kind of enjoy him, really. So, yeah, don't particularly like Archie back up top, but got to get Ronaldinho in that AMC to kind of sign off tonight.
I saw the post you said earlier about how you wanted to do something big and hopefully that started a snowball effect of other big deals. How difficult a decision was it to let Ronnie, of all people, go?
I think probably the thing I'd say on that is I think Dimble was really surprised at how quick the deal got done. Because me and Dimble have quite a long-standing history of me kind of teasing Dimble for ages. You know, the Boya deal that went on for about 3 seasons before he got it over the line. And actually, you know,
love the foreplay of a deal, don't you?
Yeah. And I'd kind of text him saying, "Look, I'm happy for him to go, make us an offer." And to be fair to him, the offer he made us was just, out of this world, really, and really generous. I had to drive home, and then within half an hour, it was done and dusted. So it's probably one of the quickest deals I've ever done, especially probably the quickest big deal I've ever done. But yeah, I think I've been fortunate enough to have him in 2 iterations now, so it's only about time that kind of someone paid the price and was able to have him.
Okay, Dimble is a neutral. A score prediction for the first game of the night?
A score draw, 1-1.
Score draw 1-1. Do fire your predictions through in the chat. Let us know how you think this game's going to go. Plenty of text for the away side in the opening few moments. Yellow card, I believe that's possibly for Bergkamp. Fine save by Barthez. How many times have we said that this season? Kaluzhny getting involved. Agat also now starting to play his part. You can see Van Bronckhorst seeing a bit of the ball as well. But it's all the defensive players for LSK, whereas you just feel Sancte are getting their more influential players more readily involved. Albertini's name popping up there. Big header for Sancte at the end of the half, not converted, and 0-0, which is the score that Smuts is predicting in the chat. Quick look at the match stats. I felt Sancte maybe had a couple more attempts than that personally, but it does stand to reason that they've had the better of the game. Duggan, what's your initial take on it?
Yeah, it kind of sums up our season really, which is that we've looked on top in probably about 3/4 of the games, but just Inzaghi hasn't been as good as he was last season, and that kind of either second striker or second AMC is not been good enough. So yeah, I mean, you've got to take your chances, haven't you, in the Super League, because there's Pizarro there who can definitely take a chance when he gets one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at these ratings here, and you've got Barthez, Honsho, and Lizarazu all on 8s, and then virtually the whole rest of the team on 6s. Dimble. That kind of sums up LSK, doesn't it? They have flashes of quality, but the majority of it, sadly for Jamie, is distinctly average.
It has been, yeah, it has been. And if Jamie's here, or if he was here, he would be probably throwing bodies forward, which I don't think particularly does much when you're not creating something. If you just kind of throw 3 forwards on, it's a bad idea in my opinion. But it's more of the same, unfortunately. But he's still in the game. He's still got a chance of getting a result if he kind of holds his nerve a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. No one below 91%. fitness, no one below a 6 rating, and no one on cards. I'm not sure if I've seen Jamie in the chat, but while we wait for a decision from him, let's go over to your side, Duggan. Slightly better averages, fair few more 7s in there. Archie back, you said you weren't a fan of him up top. He's not really doing much to impress in that position. And sure, Gatos maybe not as affected as he usually is, I should say.
Yeah, I think we'll just swap back in Ronaldinho, please, mate, and that'll be us done.
Okay, just a tactical tweak for Sancte. I will give Jamie another 30 seconds or so. So with no Super League tomorrow, Dimble, what are you going to use your Sunday evening for instead? Some adult admin, or have you got something more fun lined up?
Is
there a Jackbox night for all the Super League managers? There
isn't, as far as I know. I don't know if I've been invited and there is one or not, but it's probably going to be playing FM. I'm just playing FM a lot, and I'm about to have an unbeaten season in my first season with Grimsby. So I probably
now you've said that, you know what's happening.
Yeah. 40 games in, I've drawn 8, won the rest. So that's probably going to be the highlight of my week, to be fair, after I lose tonight, especially.
Well, nothing from Jamie, so we'll go to 60 and see what happens next. And there is an injury for Finnan.
Just get your auto straight swap, please.
Straight swap?
Yeah.
No worries at all. Let's carry on our march towards the hour mark. And there is Ronaldinho, who's 5th of the season. And is that him signing off and waving goodbye in style? Yellow card handed out. And we pause it on the hour. Jens asking, do you need a good PC to run the new FM?
Mine's only like a year old, so it's not bad at all. So yeah, it does help.
Quick look at the LSK stats on the hour mark. They are a goal down. Ratings slightly improved, but still majority of them 6s. Still no yellow cards there to worry about. And no real conditional issues either. So if Jamie does switch on now, there is a chance to make alterations if he so wishes. In the meantime, Duggan, we'll go over to your side. How big a goal is that for Ronaldinho?
Yeah, massive. And you just got to kind of see the game out. I think at the minute, we'll go Petit for Gerrard, please, and switch him with Ndiaye, and that'll do it.
Petit for Gerrard, switching with Ndiaye, and that will do it. Lovely, thank you. We've got Mike saying, I loaded FM, got angry at all the numbers, and gave up to it. Yeah, that's normally the CM player's issue, isn't it? It's just not as quick and easy gameplay as 0102.
It's not, but there's a lot more detail to it, and you can kind of
really immerse yourself if you want to.
You can pass loads of stuff off to your staff, so it's quite easy when you do that. You can get on a bit of a roll, but it does take a long time compared. Fucking hell, it takes a whole night for half a season usually.
Still nothing from Jamie, so I'm guessing he's not about. We will continue this game on and see what happens. I know Tato is off partying with people literally half his age. There's Archie back, making it 2. And I know Rock's also not around this evening either. Is Sancte going to get a 3rd? Oh, there's one back. It is Pizarro, the man who Doug has said is capable of scoring, has scored. And now we have potential. Bergkamp going on a mazy all on his own. Still Bergkamp, fine save by Khan. And Gerrard makes the clearance. Sancte up the other end, though. Are they going to counter? Gallardo. Hanshaw gets in the way, but Gatos picks up the loose ball. Ambrosini. And it's a free kick, which Ronaldinho is going to take. And then Inzaghi just fouls Bowyer for no reason. 2 minutes being added on at the end of this first game of the night. And there is the goal from Archie back to make it 3-1 on the night, and that should be it now. LSK not giving up. Bergkamp. Pizarro goes for the bicycle kick, gets it horribly wrong. Kaluzhny picks up from the goal kick. Pizarro, he's fouled by Gerrard. Gets a yellow card for his troubles. There's the final whistle. And Duggan, the night couldn't have gone much better for you. So kicking things off with a 3-1 win.
Yeah, I'm hoping Ronaldinho's got at least 1 assist there. And wouldn't it be great if he's got a man of the match on his last performance for Sancte? I did text Dimble earlier on and say Ronaldinho's getting pulled at 60 minutes if I'm 2-0 up, and we're all going to stand and applaud. So hopefully we do that if he's got man of the match, if he's got one of them assists, I think.
Jens has said Duggan has a slight resemblance to Robert Downey Jr.
I think he's probably a bottle of red wine down. I think.
I was there when he met him in person. He didn't say that to his face.
Yeah, because he was too busy nutting a disco ball. That's why, mate.
Seeing stars, yeah.
Did you hear that story, 5V?
No, not heard this at all.
So when we had the Super League beers up in Edinburgh, Jens split his head open nutting a disco ball on the dance floor.
So why is he nutting a disco ball?
It was more an imprint of the sequins, like
and that was after we went to this bar to meet Jens after him being on the day, like on the drink for a day, and all his mates were there, like passed out on the chairs and stuff. Random bunch of fucking Vikings, a kip spewing everywhere. We were like, Jens, where's Jens? Jens had disappeared, so we never seen Jens, so we thought we'd missed him. And then just out of nowhere, this 7'5" Nordic fucking god comes walking into the bar, looks at all us, and then on his face he's just like, guys, what the fuck? And he's, I'm not at a disco ball, look. And he's like, fucking Super League, fucking yes.
That's an incredible impression of his accent as well.
What a legend. What a guy. What a guy.
Archie Back picks up man of the match in a rare 5 for Fabian Barthez.
Oof. Doesn't happen very often, does it?
No.
It's a very, very rare occasion.
And I'm afraid no assist for Ronaldinho.
Yeah, but we'll see he's passing the baton to Archie Back. That's the master and the apprentice. He's saying, "Go on, Archie, get Sancti top six."
That's a great sight for you to see that, isn't it? When you've just agreed that deal, that's a very nice sight.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Doug, and big win to start off the evening's entertainment. Next, we're going to Northern Burn versus Stackington. Now, the chaos at Stackington and their fucking goalkeepers. Casillas is now in the reserves. Carlos Gumano has been called up to be on the bench. Mondragon is now starting in a slightly altered tactic. A couple more reserves have also been called up. Ross is really utilising his full squad this season. Christian Panucci has been put on the bench despite not being fully fit. I'll be honest, Imble, the first thing when I was putting this team together for Ross, the first thing I thought is I hate those two DMs. It is possibly the worst DM line I've ever seen in the Super League.
Get Federico's name out of your mouth. He's great. Lussenhoff is great, but he's not quite starting Super League quality, is he? And KO can fuck off because he's just not at all, not even in the conversation of being the starter. So yeah, it's not the best, but he's a bit thin there. He got rid of some good ones. He didn't replace them. At least they're functional. They are functional DMs. They might win a few tackles. That's all. That's the best thing I can say about them.
I'll be honest, I've not paid too much attention to what's going on in the transfers. I know I've got a million DMs from everybody, which will start getting processed after this game round. But do you think that this is a chance for Ross to further imprint his own style on this team from what you've seen and hopefully help him start rising up the table? I mean, no one wants to come in, and I know everyone says it's hard that first year where you get to learn the ropes, but no one wants to come in and finish 13th, 14th, do they?
No, they don't. It is a chance. Hope he takes it. He's got some good. There's still a good enough team within there to compete.
Yeah.
I think there's still some good players around, and he's got a couple of assets he could sell on as well to get better positions elsewhere. So yeah, he's got the tools to do the job still. So there's no real excuses. It's on him to kind of do that now.
Doug, I'll let you discuss their opposition and hosts for this evening. A traditionally as is Northern Burn from their last game.
Yeah, and you know, you cannot say much more than we already do. Every time you think that they look a bit flat, that he just keeps kind of ticking along, holds his nerve when others kind of lose their head. And you know, the wing backs have been brilliant for him this season, but kind of in the same way that Bobby Carlos and Contra were when Northern Burn were kind of flying high and on top of things. You know, he's scoring goals. Montella isn't really amongst them, so there's kind of goals coming from all over the pitch, which has never really been a Northern Burn thing. I mean, that's probably, other than Sigalgo, it's probably the best numbers he's had out of a striker in absolutely ages, but still manages to kind of get goals chipped in from left, right and centre. Yeah, it's a colossus. And you know, there'll be certain people in the Super League kind of thinking maybe the next iteration, you know, there won't be a Northern Burn, and we'll have a bit more of a sniff of a chance to kind of be up there and get a star, because when they're in the league, you know, they're more or less going to be guaranteed top 3, without a doubt.
Let's Doug, I'll stick with you. A score prediction for this one?
I think this could be a bit of a bloodbath fight for you, to be honest. I think that the 2 EMCs are Burn, and the 2 DMs are Stackington. I think this could be about 4 or 5. Sorry, Ross.
Dimble?
I think it'll be a bit tighter than that. I predicted 2-1 in the predictions league, so I'll stick with that.
Okay, let's kick this one off and see what happens next. No real surprise to see the opening exchange is dominated by the orange and gold of the host side, but I'm sure Stackington fans will be delighted at the prospect of actually playing a game with 11 men for a change. Cmsl, one of the rare players, by the way, to actually get a 2-game ban in the Super League for sheer number of red cards he's had already, not even at the halfway point.
Deservedly so. What a moron.
We've reached half-time, and credit where it's due, Doug, and Stackington have held firm. They've been under a lot of pressure, but it's 0-0.
Yeah, that pressure seemed to come in that last 15 minutes there, off the bar, off the post. Someone kind of can't miss and then does. You know, you get half time against a team like Northern Burn, and you think you've done your job if it's 0 each. So yeah, listen, Savage just said it there, 0-0 half time away at Burn. Well done, Ross. Keep your heads, stay in the game. Something's clearly working there defensively.
Again, without even seeing what's going on, Mr. Edwards is happy enough with what he's seen to go as is. And Ross there saying clean sheet of 45, I'll take that. Just a quick look then at what is going on at Burn. As we know, they're not changing anything. No real need to from what we've seen stats-wise. As for Stackington, Dimble, a bit like with LSK, they're having a rare, decent performance from a goalkeeper. He is in the top, if I remember rightly, when I showed the stats that were requested, he's in the top 5 averages for goalkeeper performances this season. But the rest of it just distinctly average.
Yeah, and talk about like not sliding doors moments quite, but before the transfer rules changed, Mondragon was an East Coast player and Casillas was a Sancte player. Both deals were agreed. So how differently it all could have gone. Yeah. In terms of performance, 0-0. Yeah, just take it and run. Don't change much. You might, if you want to do one change, then do. But yeah, keep going.
And they've taken the lead. Rayhead scores for the away side as that woken the beast on the hour now. So Northern Burn a goal down at home to Stackington. And the differences in performances here, Duggan. I mean, Montero there on a 9, Takanadi on a 5.
Yeah, and I think when Edwards puts Takanadi in, he's been really functional for him and he's done a job, but he is probably the one in that 11 that you kind of have question marks over. I was just about to say there about Rayad. Martin kind of tweeted on Tato's resignation kind of statement. I don't know if you'd seen it. It was like the most heartbroken is Wales Rayad's known he'll never get a kick in Super League ever again. And here he is tonight. Putting his
3 goals now, yeah. It's 3 goals for him now.
Yeah, he's hitting some form there.
And Takanadi was doing I was about to say Takanadi was doing the Fiore role perfectly, but he's fucked it up, hasn't he?
Fiore, I believe, is either now fully fit again or approaching fitness, so expect to see him back very, very soon. Seems, says Smuts. While we wait to see if it's an as-is from Ian, let's have a quick look over at Stackington. Still quite a few 6s in there, which is a surprise considering they're now leading. But look at Ebby San there, one of the standout players, as well as Mendieta, who's probably been Stackington's player of the season. Kieran Dyer, the only player on a yellow. No real fitness worries. Are you saying the same as you did at halftime here, Dimble? Just keep it going. Don't change anything.
Yeah. I think you'd be a fool to change too much. You might want to change 1 or 2 people, but yeah, I'd stick with. I think this sums up the Super League for me. There's loads of players that can do a job on the day and score in bunches. People like Sand can go on a run for 10 games. Mm-hmm. If you get them at the right time, then you're absolutely flying. But there's a few that obviously do it week in, week out, and they're the ones you want.
Note it in your calendars, boys. Mr. Edwards is making a change.
Can I have a look at Rosso? I was intrigued. I don't actually know who he is.
He's his out-of-league signing.
Is he defender forward? Is that right?
Yeah.
Because of the message, yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me take that off for you.
I thought I saw he was defender forward. It's just interesting. I've never noticed him. He's a weird looking player. And he's like a Romanian Darren Pearce.
That's a Tato player if ever I've seen one. That mind. Defender forward, left centre.
I just wouldn't know where to play him. Like, he looks all right, but I wouldn't know where to play him at all.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if he could have the impact required. And it's the first time I've actually managed to sub him on correctly. The only other time he's made an appearance is when I brought the goalkeeper on by mistake.
Yeah, I saw that happening in real time, and you can't stop it.
So let's see whether sticking is the right answer or making the change was correct. Still all the pressure coming from the home side. They are shooting on sight, and there is Montero leveling things up on 65. Still coming forward in ways, but here comes Stackington, and they failed to convert. And there's a volley. Could Stackington hold on for an unexpected point here? Is Rayed saved in style by Buffon? Dyer, Morientes, but Duff gets in the way. Lucinov this time in the way. Sand tried to use Keane as a shield. We're into injury time. And there's the final whistle. And anyone who predicted 1-1 in Swanee Super 7, that's incredibly well-earned points because, wow, I mean, look at the stats. Burn very, very wayward with their shooting tonight, Dimble.
Yeah, on the predictions league, there should be like a reward for going against the grain. Like, I don't know, Swan's doing enough work as it is, but if you could like get a solo prediction right, you should get bonus points or something. Because that, no one's going for that. Not even Ross is going for a 1-1 draw there. Yeah, it's a bit of a champion, but he'll absolutely take it. Congrats to Ross because it's a fucking tough place to be the Super League, and he's got a point away at Burn, which is amazing.
Duggan, your reaction to what you've just seen?
Yeah, look, we've all been on either side. We've been in the league long enough to be on either side of those, and you can't really kick off too much when you don't get the result over the line, and you can't really celebrate too much when you kind of manage to hold back the flood. But yeah, I think there's definitely something in that there for Ross in terms of the tactic file and defensive setup. It'll just be interesting whether he thinks he's got to cash in for one of those big names to get, maybe 2 in. That just give him a bit more strength. Interestingly, Stackington and LSK both kind of struggling, both cashed in on those big DMs pre-season and are now struggling. LSK with Tomazzi and Stackington with a couple. Ambrosini. Who were the other ones he traded in, Dimble? Can you remember? Ambrosini went, Paredes went. Was that it?
We're talking Stackington.
Yeah, definitely them two. They're starting out to doing well.
Malevsky, Paredes, Van Bronckhorst, Ambrosini. Holland even, who's now skipper in Sloths.
Yeah.
That's just like so alpha, isn't it? Matt Holland, skipper. Love
that. Huge result, and well done to Ross. I'm sure Ian won't be too concerned with what he's seen. The thing that stood out for me here, you've got Montero, Thuram, and Totti all on 9 ratings. Only one player in Stackington getting 8 or above, but a 1-1 draw is how it turned out. Points shared. Next, and it's Dimble's turn to be under the spotlight as we do Dudley Hill versus East Coast. From memory, Shearer has come in for Hussein, who drops to the bench. Viduka drops out completely. I think that's it, if I remember right, Dimble.
Yeah, that's correct. That's the only spot up for grabs in my team now and going forward. I think I'm just going to have to rotate them because Hussein started the season well and has gone really flat. Shearer did me a good job last season, so he comes back in. Viduka's not impressed on his chance, but he will get a chance at some point. So yeah, that's the one position in my team that probably needs to address it, but I've run out of deals, so I can't. So it's just going to be a bit of a lottery, or I'll change formation at some point.
Can you explain how you have made an absolute monster of Kovalchuk, please?
The
his
Super League,
his attributes don't make out like he's going to be an absolute world beater necessarily, but he is possibly over the last season and a half the best DM in the league.
He's amazing. I wanted to play I didn't want a tackler next to Zales. Zales' job is to tackle. His job is to pass, and his passing is off the charts. He's off the ball, he's off the charts. His long shots is off the charts. In terms of low ability and 20s, it makes a difference. he's developed really well. Last iteration, his passing wasn't as good, and he was pretty dog shit, to be fair. So I think that makes a difference. He's just on there. He's a bit of a lump. He takes all the corners and free kicks. So that's where his assists come from mainly. And he's there to pass the ball next to someone who's kicking the shit out of people. And that was my thinking. I was looking for that. I think Michelini and Zayas are too similar, and that was my thinking.
And from a personal point of view, I'm delighted that someone else is getting proper form and numbers out of Harry Kewell, because I think, despite the fact that pretty much all players recognise him as a good player on the game, no one really establishes him as their like first choice player in either the wing or attacking midfield positions.
Shout out to Harry.
I'm buzzing.
Big thank you to Harry for all he's done for the club. And hopefully it's comfortable and I can take you off at 60 and give you that round of applause that Ronnie never got.
Well, what about losing Stam, Dim? So you're worried about that?
Yes, I am. But the backups I've got are good. But yeah, it does worry me because he's a big game player. He's a big player. But just the behind the curtains of the deal, it was Kewell plus either Zanetti, Stam, Zayas was the offer. So two of those four basically. So I wasn't messing around. It was take what you want. And to be fair, I think hopefully I can deal without Stam better than the others.
And it took all my strength not to take Zelius. It was Zelius and then put Ndai and then put Ndai at centre half. But Ndai's been so good, I couldn't justify it really.
I thought you would take Zelius, and I'm kind of pleased you didn't. Yeah.
The drive home, it was literally all I thought about. Who's your other two deals, Dims? So you're out of deals now then. So what have you done?
I've got Zauri coming in for Rivaldo, and I've got D'Alessandro coming in for Emerson. So I've got like that cover on the left. So Zauri will start and D'Alessandro will sit on the bench. So it makes sense. I don't think I needed to do the D'Alessandro deal, but it was a good one for me. I was after Owen, but I kind of decided that I can deal without that. I'd rather have the backup out wide. I've got loads of strikers, basically.
Yeah. Duggan, looking at the Dudley Hill team, changes they've made. Rustico comes in for Terry, and Bruno comes in for Roy Mackay.
Yeah, beat me 1-0 out last time, and look to control probably about 80% of the game actually with this formation. He prefers wing backs, but the players he's got mean that he has to play wingers, and lo and behold, his kind of best form has been when he's played wingers. Credit to him for getting the numbers out of Van Bommel, and Rustico was a Dudley Hill fan favourite. This is a big opportunity for Steve to kind of really establish in that top four now. If he was to win tonight, Jens, absolutely, mate. I've been offered Trezeguet for just about everybody in my starting 11. The best one was getting offered John Carew for Ndaya, by the way. So yeah, welcome to One Step Beyond.
So as the neutral in this game, Duggan, can I ask you for a score prediction?
I fancy Dudley to sneak it,
Dudley to sneak it. Well, let's find out. It's always nicer for the co-coms when they win. We've already had one of those. Will we get two? Bruno involved nice and early for Dudley Hill. Is Stam likely to get dragged at 60 as well if it was all going well?
No.
No.
He's been good.
So guarantee he's getting sent off then?
Well, that kind of came into my thinking when I thought I'll play him. It might become a yellow. That's a yellow that maybe we'll send him off and get.
Cole gets the goal to go 1-0 to Dudley. He's been good this season as well, to be fair, has Cole. And half-time, Dimble finds himself behind to the resurgent Hill. Fairly even game stats-wise. Dudley dominating in the air. If I was both managers, I'd be slightly concerned that they're only winning half of their tackles. Overall thoughts there, Duggan?
Big chance for Dudley Hill there just before the half-time whistle, where you thought, that game looks totally different if they go in half-time 2-0 up, and then Dimble's got to kind of change it up a little bit. Yeah, Dimble's never out of a game, so still probably be thinking we should be 2-0 up to be comfortable.
Turning Rustico doing well, Abiate as well in goal. Looking at Bruno, he's contributed a little bit as well. Just need a bit more supply to Comandini. really. A couple of yellow cards, nothing really fitness-wise to worry about. As for yourself, Dimble, how do you assess that first half? Not great ratings.
No, it's a worrying sign. We've been in a few of these games recently where it's been like very even, low shots, but even, and we've come out on the wrong end of most of them. So it's worrying. I don't think I'm going to be making any changes though, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not going to make any changes, unfortunately. You can if you want. I'm not forcing you not to.
I would like to, but I don't think there's anything that makes me better, so I'll leave it. That's the rule.
That's the rule. Okay, so it's an as-is from Coast. Just waiting to see. Steve's too busy celebrating being 1-0 up. And it looks to me, I don't know if you agree, Dimble, but it looks like Duggan might be busy negotiating a transfer live on air at the same time.
Looks like it, yeah. It must be hot for Contra, or no, it was no Contra, Galca. Yeah, is that what we have to? Eduardo Costa.
I might just kind of announce it live at the end of the 90 there. We're just trying to get the last little bits over the line. There's someone currently in a taxi on the way to the northeast.
Well, we're going as is till 60 for both teams. Will we get any additional goals before that point? Dudley looking very impressive again. Yellow card for Stanic. Woodgate goes in the book this time. And there's Shearer to level things up. And we pause the game on 65. Dimble's off his chair celebrating. Excuse me. But one apiece on 65. Big goal that for not just these two teams, Duggan, but for all those in and around the top six at the halfway point.
Yeah, do you know what? This is why we love it, isn't it? You know, kind of steroids 35 minutes away from a really good run and putting Dimble to bed and being absolutely in the mix, and then just out of nowhere Shearer pops up, and Cosmos haven't been great, but they find themselves leveling. You know, Steele be caught between a rock and a hard place. All right, okay, he hasn't went totally mad. That's a solid change. How's Hersey looking, Fifey? It looks pretty good there, to be fair.
I like the look of that,
yeah. Yeah. Surprising.
There could be some interest in Hersey come the summer, maybe. So two changes for Dudley. How are you going to react to that then, Dimble? Does the goal change your thinking?
No, I'm just pleased with Shearer because the choice was bring Hussein on for Shearer or not. I'm going to bring on Hussein, though. I'm going to bring him on for Stanic and just swap him with Shevchenko. And that will be it. Kyo can put a shift in because I need him. I need his bit of magic in the boots to sign off his East Coast career, please.
A Kyo win would be good after what Ronaldinho did there.
Milewski goes in the book. Tony coming forward. Let's just slow this one down. Last 8 minutes, still one apiece. Tony, Van Bommel. Indirect free kick. Milewski, Voldenkov. Van Bommel robbed. 4 minutes plus added time left to play. Zeleus. Throw in though. 4 minutes being added on. And here's Soroczynski contra. Zeleus could be in trouble. He's warned Van Bommel to take the set piece. And Coast retain possession into those added minutes. And is anyone going to strike late? Cole from distance. Saved. Can't hold on to a Hersey. But Thiago with a save.
Hell. I hate that.
And this one finishes one apiece. I could see. I mean, I could sense it, and I could see in your reaction. You were like, "Oh no!"
Just because you know it's the last kick, you know there's no coming back from it, and it's. I've had a few of them, to be fair, and gutting. And Steve might have probably. I don't know if he deserved that or not. Maybe he deserved it, but fuck him. 1-0. I'll take that.
Yeah, as will he. Says good game, Giant. Duggan, fairly even game. 1-1, probably the right result.
Yeah, good point for the rest of the chasing pack in that kind of top 8 hunt, really, and probably fair on balance. Although again, you know, that Dudley kind of missed chance just before half time totally changes the complexion of the game. Really, really solid. That could easily be a playoff game, to be honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Some big numbers posted by some of the Dudley Hill players in the end. Solid ratings throughout. The subs had an impact as well. Soroczynski, man of the match. A lot there for Steve to be happy about. And as for Coast, so who am I looking for here? So I'm looking for Harry Kuehl. Not much to write home about. Yap Stam. Okay.
Or 8 out of 8 tackles, key. 2 ones, headers 1 out of 10. That's a harsh 7. He's been absolutely.
I am moist at the thought of Sol Campbell and Yap Stam at the back. By the way,
I'm less moist about Reggie Liano Reddy, but I think he'll do all right.
Well, let's move on to the next game, which is Foss Road versus Haggis. Possibly the two most polarizing figures in the Super League modern era, going head to head. Foss Road at home, so it means that they'll at least be competitive, you'd have thought. Haggis have made one change from last time out. Perez comes back into the starting lineup on the left wing. Straight swap, nothing else remains. Why do we... Dimble, I'll ask you. So Vieri 3 in 11, Van Nistelrooy 1 in 11. Why do we think that arguably two of most people's top 5 or 7 strikers can't work well together?
Oh, they did very well last year, didn't they? And it was a bit of a surprise. I think everyone was a bit kind of miffed as the numbers that are coming out of both of them. But it's rare that you get a big striker putting big numbers up. And it seemed to happen a lot last season. I think this season's gone a bit back more to form, to the usual. I don't know. The two regular strikers, I believe one of them's on the way out. Is that true? Is that confirmed?
For Veron.
Vieri for Veron, is it? Yeah. So that puts a different complexion. That'll probably see a change in tactic, I imagine.
Does that mean Anelka's on his way as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Anelka's going somewhere. I think he's at Fulchester.
My poor playoff chasing exiles have been completely stripped of everything that was there.
The latest I was aware of, Fifey, it was going to be Crespo and Vieri up top for exiles. I don't necessarily think they're going to change formation. They might do a Fifey and play Veron with that DM arrow.
Okay.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, that could work. Yeah.
Rox is certainly not taking any tactical advice from me. Let's be honest. He knows a considerable amount more than I do. Let's have a look at Foss Road, who have more players available again. Riquelme, the only unavailable. Zé Roberto's back. Who's the other one that's back? Vieira's back in this team as well. It does make it look better instantly having those two available, doesn't it, Duggan?
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think so. The Rocky Santa Cruz over Owen thing kind of mystifies me, really. So I'm delighted to take Owen off his hands, being a Sancte shirt come next game week. But yeah, it looks better with Vieira in there, I think. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Vieira captain. No worries. Let's get some score predictions then. I'll start with you, Dimble.
I'm gonna go home win, just because it's Foss Road at home.
Okay, Duggan.
I can't look beyond Haggis.
Oh, we've got a difference of opinion. Let's see which way it goes, and will any players be saying goodbye the way that we've seen one or two others do already this evening? Van Nistelrooy's very, very close there. Dimble, while it's ticking away, what have you made of Jacques in a Haggis shirt?
It's a bit painful, but I took name over delivery because Jacques has been great, hasn't he? And call there for Vieri. I think that's getting Ronaldinho is obviously massive. I'm going to get over it a bit quicker now, but Stanic hasn't been great, so it's big miss for me. Big miss for me. Get
to half-time, Duggan, and Haggis probably deservedly ahead. Looking at those stats, it's 1-0 at the break. Although it takes shots aside, Foss look half decent. Their pass completion and tackle completion is strong.
Yeah, I just think too many arrows in that formation from Foss Road for me. There's too much kind of going forward, and it's a bit reckless, to be honest. Especially against the formation with those 3 DMs that can control games quite easily. And a nice little sign-off goal for Big Shagger there.
Yeah. Jens saying it baffles me why Foss doesn't give Owen a run of games. I mean, to be fair, I don't know how much attention you guys pay. I know that you guys are very focused on your first teams and not necessarily so much what goes on away from that. But I messaged Smuts last night when I was doing the packs, and I said, I've just played the Australia games, both first team and under 21s, which is obviously all the reserve players. And I said, there are so many Foss Road players in here that are playing well. You need to give them a run out because they're better than what you've got in your first team.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Cisse looks good this save. I got rid of him for fucking Abel Javier after the draft. Well, just because I didn't want Cisse really, but yeah, he looks really good. I think he's built loads of those players. He's brought loads of those players in, hasn't he? Like the decent potential.
Yeah.
The playing
That's season two. That's season 2 team rhetoric that he's been putting out.
Season 2 Reserves League champion. Well done, Spots.
So we got both managers saying that they are okay till 60. No worries. Let's go straight back to the action.
I've got to say that's the biggest thing I miss about not having access to the saving stuff is just seeing how the reserves league's going as to how the games are going and all that stuff, and see how the players are looking and stuff. That I do miss that bit. That's probably the only thing I do miss though.
Delvecchio makes it 2 just before the hour. Looks like the Foss home record is going to take a little bit of a percentage bashing tonight. We've reached the hour. Lots and lots of sixes there. It's very, very average. Are you putting it pretty much down to the arrows, Duggan, do you think? Just too expansive against a strong outfit?
Yeah. Look, I think Franca, Van der Vaart and Alex would not be starting in those positions for any other team in the league. Maybe with the exception of Stackington. Maybe. I don't know. Just not good enough when you think that Haggis tactic is built on the strength of that DM line, and you've got 3 players that just cannot lay a glove on those 3 DMs really. So yeah, I'm not convinced Smuts knows what his best tactic is or his best 11 is, and we know the history of Super League tells you that if you're in that position where you're not feeling great about what's on the pitch, then you're not going to turn up any trees.
Okay. Looks to be a move to 1 at the back. Are you a fan of that in this situation?
No, I don't think you create any more chances by having 1 at the back. I think you're still ultimately up against the tactic that works really, really well. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move over then to Haggis. 2 up. We just talked about Jacques in the first half, doing really well. Van Nistelrooy, ironically, the one of the attacking trio on a 9 rating without scoring. So you imagine he certainly had a hand in the goals. Nothing really to worry about there for Ian. So you imagining as is Dimble?
Yeah, easy street for him. I think it's underperforming Foss side and a strong-looking Haggis side. Yeah, nothing really to say. Jack's on a 9 is a killer. I was hoping he'd quiet down this season, but he's not going to do, is he? Too good.
So ahead of this game, 8 starts, 4 sub appearances, 4 goals, 0 assists surprised me a little bit.
I don't think he got loads of assists for me, but he did get a lot of goals. Yeah, 5 assists.
14 goals, 5 assists for you last year.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be praying for numbers like that from Ronaldinho, who's probably the best player on the game, and I don't even know if he's get to Jack's levels, is he? So yeah, it's a big miss for me, and on that right-hand side is where I actually started playing him. That's where he worked his way into the team, is on that right-hand side. So I can see why he's doing it.
Jens saying Haggis with Veron, clear favourites for the title now. I'm not sure that's necessarily true, but we will monitor that with great interest over the coming weeks, leading towards the business end of the season. There's been a bit more Foss Road text, but yet to really. Oh, there's Delvecchio. Oh no, it's been ruled out. Oh, Gomez headbutted and has been sent off. So with 5 minutes to go, Gomez, a rush of blood and a chaotic moment. He's nice simulation of the headbutt. I mean, I don't anticipate Ian making any changes. Smuts, I imagine, will think the game's gone with 5 minutes to go, so arguably won't make any changes either. But Gomez has been, he's been decent for Haggis, so to now be missing for a game is going to be crucial for the next fixture, Duggan.
Yeah, this Haggis tactic works. The 11's great. It's been said a couple of times before that maybe the only weakness they have, and it's potentially where they fell down against Burn in the final last year, was that depth beyond that first 11. So, yeah, I'm just looking at that, and what would you be doing there, Dimble, with Veron coming in, pushing Del Vecchio up top with Rude and having Veron as AMC maybe?
I don't think so. No, I don't know actually. Yeah, I think I'd be changing tactics, but that'd be me. I don't like the midfielderless formation anyway. So yeah, that's what I would do. I've got no clue what Ian will do, to be honest. But I'm looking forward to seeing a new tactic, Farrell.
Because his DMs are so good on it. His DMCs have been so good for him. You kind of think you cannot really justify sticking Veron in there. Yeah, play it, Haggis.
Very true. Yeah, very true.
And considering, Dimble, you said at the start, obviously, the only thing we hear about more than this being a second season team is their home record. Haggis have made them look ordinary.
They have, yeah. It's a bad one for Phosphode. That more bad for Phosphode than it is good for Haggis. But yeah, and he had that run of, was it 4 games at home and a couple of winnable away games? He said he's not off to a good start on that one, is he?
No, not at all. And in fact, he's just reacted and said dog shit. Looking at the ratings, there's nothing really there to write home about. Vieira did Vieira things. It's just expected of him. Say Roberto equally, but they're just. I think you're right, Duggan. There's just nothing there really inspiring and nothing clicking.
Yeah, and kind of in danger of sounding really simplistic. Never in 15 seasons has there been a team play that tactic with that arrows and that setup that has done anything. And, if you think about 15 lots of 26 games, that's a hell of a lot of kind of information to base what you do. And I just think there's nothing in that tactic really. It's too attacking, and the players just aren't good enough in that middle kind of where you win and lose games in the Super League. It's your DMCs and your MCs, if you play them, that turn up.
With the incoming of Veron that was mentioned during the game, seeing Del Vecchio get man of the match is more food for thought for Team Haggis, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what, like Duggan says, it's a question. He's got I don't know if he's got thoughts in mind already. Obviously, he's just probably delighted to get Veron through the door. But definite things to consider. Veron, we've seen Veron do decent stuff at DM, so it's a possibility. But he's got performing DM, so yeah, it's an interesting one.
Definitely. Let's continue on, and we go to, where are we? Game 5 of the evening, and it is table-topping Vikings. They are away at a 21st birthday Badgers. Vikings make one change from memory, and it's just a revert of what they did previously. Keane dropping back to the bench, Brozek back into the 11. Everything else remaining as is. Duggan, let me ask you, similar to what I was talking to Ian about the other night, it's for people who are fans of Jens, it's pleasing after the dismay of last year to see him doing so well in the first half of the season. Yeah,
absolutely. And for me, it comes back to when he went into that final and didn't have Klompy and didn't have Cannavaro, and that is probably the one that got away for him, because if they had started in that final, I think Vikings would have kind of came out of it really. But I think there's a really good balance in this side between kind of mercurial attacking players, Simkoviak, Brozek, Nedved, Henry, and then just really solid defensive players. Really good balance in this side. No real question marks over anybody in the 11. And can we just have a look at the league table before this kicks off? Because I know Badgers have kind of... So I mean, a win here tonight would be absolutely massive, given that it would be against Badgers and Burn have dropped points and Coast have dropped points. There's a chance here for potentially a 6-point gap by game week 13 for Vikings. That would be absolutely massive.
Yeah. And Dimble, every season we're looking for which player is going to come forward and kind of make a statement. And the go-to saying is the best version of X we've ever seen. This is undoubtedly the best Thierry Henry we've seen in the Super League.
It is another one that I've had for quite a while. Never played him at striker. I had Ortega for a while. Never played him at AMC. So people say I know the game, but I clearly fucking don't, because what was I doing? Yeah, they're absolute numbers. And Emerson to come back in and the best bench in the league I really that, and I love depth. I love depth. So yeah, that kind of appeals to me. This is the best. I think this is the best squad in the league. For the pure like options, you can change things easily without having to do transfers. That's my kind of team, my kind of squad.
Looking at the hosts then, Duggan, they've called ZZ Roberts up from the reserves. He goes straight onto the bench. Krompe is back. He partners Okoronkwo at centre-back again. Agahawa comes in at right midfield. So a couple of changes for Badgers, freshening things up.
Yeah. And the kind of, the biggest compliment I continue to pay this Badgers side is that I don't particularly like the look of the players, like as a kind of a set of 11 gigs aside, really, and potentially Krompe, but Tato just gets really, really good quality performances out of them. I do know that he's a bit bored with it though, because he's had these players for a hell of a long time. Some of these guys, maybe with the exception of Saviola, but ultimately, I just think the way that Tato plays the game and the way that Tato kind of goes about his business in the league, he's not kind of like a me or a Steve that when we want to kind of tear it up and try it again, you press the button on a really big deal. Yep. I'd like to see him do that just purely for my own interest. But yeah, this Badger side is good.
If he's ever going to do it, it's going to be now when he's got 3 more transfers and he's already said he's leaving. So he's probably just going to completely dismantle his own squad potentially, unless he really wants to go for that star, of course, before he leaves. Score predictions then from you both. I'll start with Duggan, please.
I've got to go for a score draw, but for the interest of the league, I would like Badgers to get the win. Sorry, Jens. I think you're class this season.
Dimbo?
In the interest of potentially making the top 2 at some point in the future, Vikings win, please.
Okay. Differing opinions there on how they're approaching it. 12 minutes in. Both sides just kind of feeling their way into it. No one's dominating the early exchanges. Badgers, though, with a good double chance there, failing to convert. Vikings go up the other end. Interesting who does strike first here. And there's Tato. He's disappeared to the toilets at the birthday party so that he can watch this game.
Yeah, I sent him a notification. It's interrupted the Macarena, I've heard, but he's gutted. He's missing that, but he's here anyway.
I would like video footage of Tato doing the Macarena.
To be honest with you, I think when you get to our age and you're at a 21st birthday party, it's a good job you've got your eyes on the screen of Champman and not nothing else, because that way trouble lies for us now at our age, mate.
Yeah, to be fair, his wife sent him to the toilet, so stop looking at this and go fucking play some Champman or something.
Splash some cold water on his face and just have a bit of a time out on the naughty step, I think.
Half-time, Dimble, fairly even game from 2 good sides.
Yeah, boring Badgers, isn't it? But yeah, it's even, very even. That's the best thing you can say about it. It's even.
It is even. And Tato rushing things through, saying as is till 60. No worries at all. As for the Vikings, Jens may take his time to make some decisions. Nothing shockingly awful there, but nothing much exceptionally good either, Duggan.
Yeah, and I think that's credit to Badgers. I think I was just about to say it's one of the most ordinary 45s Vikings have had this season, really. Certainly in the last kind of 5 or 6 games where they've been on this run. But I think Jens needs to hurry up because Tato's just heard they're doing spin the bottle on the dance floor, so he wants to get back. That's why he's went as is.
Oh, chaos. Absolute chaos. And there is Jens said, as is till 60, would take a point and run here. Interesting insight from the manager. Let's go 260 then. Nothing happens in the first 8 minutes, but Thierry Henry makes it 12 in 13. Unreal numbers, really, from the Vikings striker. We're approaching the hour mark as yellow card handed out. We stop the game. Does that goal change people's thinking, do you think, Dimble? A goal this close to a tactic break, does it change your thinking generally?
It does. It angers you into a change, doesn't it? And Nicky Franco will get the hook very soon, just like Tato's going to get from the missus when he sees the cha-cha slide.
Oh, that's my go-to. As someone who really cannot dance and has zero rhythm, I always say, if it's a song where they tell me what to do, I'm absolutely happy to do it. So things like cha-cha slide, I'm happy with.
Tato can move. He was pulling.
But he's got some rhythm.
Yeah, he was when there wasn't birds in his ear. He was chatting on the dance floor. Sorry, Mrs. Tato.
So here
I'm only
comes
messing. That was a pure wind up. That, by the way, that didn't actually happen. No birds were in his ear.
I'm sure Mrs. Tato isn't watching this right now.
If she's already in trouble, so we'll just move past that, I think.
Yeah, he'll have us on mute. It'll be sound.
He's got subtitles on, and YouTube are trying to work out what you're saying plus your accent. It's
They've never heard the likes of me.
All sorts going on. Double change there for Badgers. ZZ Roberts does come on, as does Henrik Larsson.
Oh, I love that ZZ. I love that ZZ's back. That's a good one. He's such a Tato player. Old school Tato, where he kind of let at least one of those in the lineup every week.
Paredes playing exceptionally well this evening. Lasisi, the only player on a yellow, no real fitness concerns. Alf's joined the discussion. He says, not been on a dance floor since I was hauled on stage by a topless dancer in Spain. I didn't know where to look.
Oh, go on. Please tell us what year. I need more context. I need the year, and I need some context, please, Alf. Can you go into more details? You always put these comments on. He never gives any context. Come on.
Are you suggesting it might have been like Sticky Vicky's rehearsal tour before she took up residence in Benidorm?
I want descriptions of her nipples, a lot. I want everything. What shape were they? What colour?
Tato there.
This is what happens on Saturday Night Super League. It's into chaos.
Saturday Night Super League is the best Super League, man.
Do we want it back for the new season?
100%.
Yeah, let's see what I can do. See how my social calendar's looking. Full time, that played out into nothing at all. There was more interest in.
I wasn't even looking at the game. I was super
looking for Alf. A fairly even game in the end, Duggan, but Vikings, the quality just shone through.
Picking what way? Give me descriptions, please. Very tall, largely. Come on.
Oh, class. That's really good. That I'll kind of try and bring some sort of semblance of sanity to it. You know how there's accidental partridge on Twitter? It should just be accidental Alfbridge.
Accidental Alf.
Accidental Alf. The
out
Henri
of context
thing,
Super League.
the Henri thing, such a 50-50 call. We've all been there where we've kind of backed a player to turn up, and there's no reason why they shouldn't, and they don't. And Thierry Henry is one of those calls, and he is Maxim in disguise, I think.
He is certainly playing above his station, and maybe, like you say, wherever a new iteration of Super League comes in the coming season or seasons, I think the form this season will certainly make people sit up and think, do you know what, maybe I can do something with him.
Simkoviak again, man. So good. So good.
And you're only rated a 6.
Player. I know, unbelievable. He must be on some crazy numbers. He must be on some good numbers this season, Fifey.
So 736 average, 3 goals and an assist.
What a player.
Definitely. Well, congratulations, Jed, who will top the table again. And as Doug has said, crucially now starting to build a little bit of a gap. Go and enjoy the birthday party, Tato. And if any of the cheesy dance numbers do come on, make sure there's some video evidence sent to the Super League. We love the content. Penultimate game now? Yes, and it is the man who enjoyed a big senorita when he was in Spain. He is hosting Red Rose Stanley in what could either be one of the worst games in Super League history or an all-time classic. I just don't know how to call this one. Sloths make only one change, and it's a slight tactical alteration. Figo going to that wider AM role, Adilson going central, Taribo West coming on to the bench. Other than that, nothing changes. Doug, why is the narrow proving so difficult for so many managers to beat?
I mean, first of all, it's the formation of a man who enjoys double potato on a main meal, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? 2 potatoes, hot pot, and a jacket potato. What a guy! What a guy! But
it's an inspiration.
If you remember, he rolled this out against me and rolled me over in pre-match. I'd kind of said on Twitter, and I'm not one of these that says, oh yeah, I'm going to get beat tonight. I always back my teams, but I genuinely did say this is going to have legs because the overload in the middle of the park is something that nobody else is playing. There's such a reliance on wingers at the minute in the league that this is so very different. However, what I would say is that the Stanley tactic with that kind of block in the middle, the two kind of 4-6, is probably, I think, the closest to a conventional Super League formation that I think will do well against this. But I do think Sloss will get the result tonight. Sorry, Mike.
Okay. And Penn's starting to show his teeth again, Dimble. We were talking about strikers throughout the evening, and although at the moment 4 in 12 doesn't look great, those 4 have been coming recently since this change of tactics. So the second half of the season, he could start to look a bit more prolific.
Eres un gran señorita, Mpenza. Yeah, he's looking really good. Mpenza in the Super League, he's been a bit 50-50. I like it when he turns up, though. Some of the first seasons I watched, he was the best player in the league.
He was Sigalko before Sigalko.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel right when he's not playing well, and it's nice to see him doing good stuff.
An injury-ravaged Red Rose Stanley without Ekiog, Zanoni, Medina, Costa sees changes, Duggan. We've got David's taking the armband back. We've got Sand coming back into midfield. João Pinto coming back into the AM line. People are now starting to take notice, aren't they? It's not like that there's a fluke couple of results for the team that was predicted to finish bottom. They are genuinely good this season.
Yeah, I had them around, I think it was 11th or 12th I put them after Stackington and LSK. And I think this is my second appearance on comms this season. And the first time I kind of said it shouldn't work, the players aren't good enough. And that was pretty early on in the season, and he's proved us wrong. I still think the same. I still think the 11 looks poor on paper, but clearly there's a tactic file that is really, really effective that Mike's got. I mean, Robbie Savage, Semak, Sand and MC, you again, a bit like the Smuts formation. They're not players that would be playing in those positions for anybody else in the league, really. But Mike and Stanley have been miles better than I have this season. So what do I know?
Can we just take a moment? We've been talking about certain players and their numbers, Dimble. Robbie Savage coming from out of league, 4 starts, 2 assists.
Yeah, absolute joke of a player for the Super League. I cannot believe he's in the Super League, but he'd back Savage to do something with him. And just on your first comment as well, top 5 here, I've just scrolled back to my predictions, and I can confirm, this is the only one confirming, Teletech Shago was Mike, and he came in 9th on my predictions. So I wasn't harsh on him, but 5th is a great return so far this season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Keeping with you then, Dimble, score prediction, please.
Away win. 2-1.
Away win. Duggan?
Home win.
Home win. And excitement's building. Are we going to get a live transfer announcement? Are things going to get signed in time for the end of the show? Wait with bated breath to find out. And there was Mpenza with his chance. Zidane is very involved. I think it was Ian said last time out. Zidane very, very involved in this Sloss team. Never seems to do anything still, though. João Pinto has given Stanley the lead on 31 minutes. What a game this is for the Super League purists, by the way. Mpenza versus Sigalko. Head to head.
João Pinto versus Zidane, and João Pinto's done more this season than Zidane's done in 14 and a half.
We get to half time, and it's going to be a real test of this narrow now, isn't it, Duggan? Stanley, as you said, a formation that is capable of kind of nullifying it.
Yeah, I don't think Sloths have been behind at half time in any of the last 7 games on this
run. They don't tend to concede anymore, do they?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's different territory, but again, kind of that Stanley 6 block, those 3 blocks of 2s, I think, kind of proven us right so far that it is set up to counter this Sloths 11, but not out of it yet.
When there's least surprising news ever, Zidane is heavily involved, but is offering absolutely nothing for Sloths. Decent ratings throughout, no cards, no conditional issues, and unsurprisingly, Alf saying as is. Let's move over to Stanley, Dimble. The ratings look better and more consistent as well. Yeah,
and it's hardly a Christian Poulsen like performance from Robbie Savage, but it's not bad at an 8 with two key passes. That's a very solid performance. Away from home in the Super League, if you've got that at half time, all those 7s and a few 8s sprinkled in, you're delighted.
Yeah, and Mike pointing out the assist for Sand as well. Duggan, would you imagine an as-is coming from Mike here as well?
Yeah, I don't think he's got much on that bench really, given the injury crisis he's got. You could maybe make an argument for Mido at 60, I think, depending how Pinto gets on in the next 15.
Alf suggesting bubble burst, but the early pressure in the second half has come from Sloths, and it is a goal, and there's an injury, and all sorts went on in that little exchange, but we are level. It's one apiece. Robbie Savage has had to come off the pitch. So much to digest there. Let's stick with Red Rose there. So we're at the hour point, Dimble. They now need to replace the influential Robbie Savage, and they've just seen their lead disappear.
The influential Robbie Savage. Neville's an improvement on Robbie Savage, so I think that saves Mike from himself. I think for this rest of this match and the coming weeks, in my opinion.
Phil Neville is coming on. You mentioned Mido at 60, Duggan. Do you think that would be a good move at this point?
Yeah, but again, given Sloth's form and given the injury crisis that Mike's got, he'd probably take the point now and shake hands and be done with it, I think.
Okay. Just waiting clarification from Mike if any additional changes are wanted at this point. In the meantime, let's move over to Sloths. West Zetterberg, Etzeberia on the bench. Looking at that, Dimble, would you be making any changes?
No, Zidane's on a 7. Amazing.
Wow.
I don't know. Etzeberia, I think he could do some good stuff in this formation, but Oliveira's scored. You're not going to take Impenza off. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably just leave it if I was Alf.
Okay. Well, Mike has confirmed he isn't doing anything. Alf will be considering it, although he's now scared after what happened a couple of game weeks ago to make subs in case it causes him to concede 2 late goals like it did against Exiles. But we are getting the one change. Etzeberia coming on for Figo.
Not to kind of preempt the end of the show, Fifey, but if Sloths get the winner here, I've just been kind of having a glance down at my phone at what the league table would kind of be looking like, and I think roughly 2nd to like 9th is going to be within 2-3 points of each other.
Wow.
If Sloths get the win.
Well, let's find out. Changes have been made. Let's see which one causes the reaction. Big chance there for the away side. And there's Sigalko again. Lots of Sigalko in the text. Oliveira getting involved for Sloths, though. Getting into the business end of the game now. Vesterveld makes the save.
Goal coming, surely. Somewhere.
Which way? Both sides going for it. João Pinto, he's fouled. Carlos to take the free kick. Samac. And now going the other way. Oliveira, Carlos, Zidane, Holland, Baronio, back to Zidane. 3 minutes being added on. Oliveira, Phil Neville collects it. João Pinto! Oh, it's been ruled off.
No. Oh, no.
And Penza late when I hear.
Gilson and Penza. Still in Penza. He could be in trouble. It's a yellow card. Free kick to Sloths, which Zidane's going to take. Deflects off the wall. And Penza! Saved.
Vesterveld, man. What a keeper.
And that's the final whistle. What an entertaining 1-1 that is.
Yeah, high tension, entertaining 1-1. Very even game, very much deserved. Two good teams, which is, yeah, like you say, like you said with Stanley, not many predicted. Sloths, nobody predicted them to do anything. So unlikely teams that are looking very good.
Mike reacting, I think, in the sensible way to what he's just witnessed there. So the train continues for Sloths. They remain unbeaten. Their run continues. They showed some battling qualities to come from behind as well, Duggan. So all traits that make them dangerous to the teams, maybe looking down at them. Absolutely.
And Ronnie Johnson, what a player. Dragons legend. Hell of a player. Alf Bridges long maintains that Ronnie Johnson is a top centre-half in DMC. So, yeah, that's class.
Just looking at his stats, I mean, 11 starts, 1 man in the match, 773 rating at 33 years of age. You can't really complain with that, can you?
Yeah,
amazing.
Class.
And Mike even saying there, look, Johnson putting a right shift in. Looking at the Stanley ratings, I mean, again, as away performances go, I think you were saying earlier, Dimble, that's not bad at all. You take that for most Super League away games.
Yeah, I keep a track of my ratings and the average rating for that game. And if you average it, you'd be averaging kind of low sevens there. You take that away from home because it means you're going to get a point most games. So yeah. And so if you're talking about process, trust the process, levels of performance, all that stuff, kind of get consistency with that. That's exactly what you want really away from home.
It's also fascinating insight into the level of depth of detail that certain managers go to monitor their team's performance.
I can't do anything to influence it. I just record it. I just go, oh yeah, that was good. Oh, that was bad. Yeah.
Last game of the night, Macca's Fulchester host Rox's Exiles. Couple of changes. Crespo starts. Constantinu dropped from the squad entirely. Torres on the bench. Chiesa comes in for Robin, who isn't fit enough to play either. And then they swap sides with Ronaldo. What do you make of Fulchester, Duggan? Because I look at them, and some weeks I look at the squad, just the squad page. I think, yeah, this is a properly decent squad. And then other times I look at it and I think I can see why they're kind of down in 12th.
I think for me, this is a fixture against two sides that should be doing a hell of a lot better for the talent they've got in their squads. Maybe not beyond the first 11, but definitely the first 11. And I think I can't make my mind up on Macca in terms of where he's at the minute with Super League. I think when it goes well, he's kind of buzzing, and then the slightest thing goes against them, and he can't help but kind of wheel out. Oh, I've never been right since that horrific run last season, and there must have been something in it, and someone's corrupt and all that sort of stuff. And I love Macca a bit. Like, great guy to have a pint with, great guy to have a chat with, but. I think at the minute it's almost like he doesn't want to do well, because that then gives him an excuse to not have to kind of invest in it and be like annoyed by it or upset or emotionally invested in it. Yeah. Because we all know, like, the classic Macca Fulchester ball, laptops getting smashed. He was balls deep in it, but that takes kind of a level of commitment and investment that I don't think he kind of really has the time for at the minute because of kind of work and stuff. So should be doing a hell of a lot better than they are, and I think their opposition up here should be doing a hell of a lot better than they are as well.
And say Macca needs a top left winger, Serginho isn't a left mid. Dimble, looking at Exiles then, another team, as Doug was saying, that should really be doing better. I haven't done that right at all. Let me swap Veron and Cashman around. The rest of it looks right. We, myself and Ian, were talking on the last show about moving Zambrotta over to that left-hand side because there are other players that we would maybe play on the right, and he seems to have heeded that, and he said in the chat himself it'd be something he's considering, and he's bit the bullet and gone for it this time.
Yeah, it's worth a try. I think that left wing is an issue for him. Vicente out there wasn't good. It might solve that issue. Cashman's done a good job in the league in the last couple of seasons. Zambrotta can play there, so yeah, it's an interesting one. And look at the names on that team sheet. You got Veron, Raul, Anelka, Zambrotta, Nesta. What a squad he's got, really. Tomasi. So yeah, in terms of top Super League names, those ones.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and he goes on about Michelini and how desperate he is to have him. But the only offer I got for him was Petit, and that's not Emmanuel Petit. That's Petit fucking El Portugueso, whatever his name is. Yeah.
I tried to give him. I tried George Atos for Veron when I knew Kiel was coming in, but he went for Vieri instead.
Fairly understandable, I would say. Exiles wearing their Devils tribute kit tonight, which obviously I love. Dimble, score prediction for the final game, please.
Oh, it's Exiles, isn't it? So probably 0-0.
Okay, and Duggan?
It should be Exiles by a couple, I think, based on the starting 11s, but it probably won't be.
Okay. Let's see what it will be then. Anelka getting involved early for the away side. Here come Fulchester, though. Plenty of blue and white text. Jens saying he went Fowler for Veron. And Lucio sent off very quick for 2 yellow cards. I haven't seen Macca in the chat either. So that means I'm going to have to make a decision here, aren't I? I'm thinking that Chiesa isn't the regular player who plays. So for Materazzi, and then just straighten Ronaldo up with his arrow.
Yeah, got to be, mate. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I fully back that one.
Rox isn't here either, so I'm not even going to touch his Maverick tactic. Let's see what happens. Plus, last time I got involved for Macca, it obviously turned out well, didn't it, Duggan? So,
yeah, the new Fulchester assistant manager.
Yeah, can you imagine the fume on me?
A couple of five. It is all Exiles. Every opportunity falling to Anelka at the moment, but he's failing to convert. A yellow card for Gattuso. The last thing they need is to go down to 9 men. Oh, who scored? Crespo with his first of the season.
And Nelka's guaranteed to score now, isn't he? Going
Completely against the run of play. But at half-time, it's Fulchester 1, Exiles no. I mean, how is that only 3? I must have seen about 10 shots. I have no idea what's happened there.
No idea.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been great if this had been 0-0 at full time, I think. But it'd be a massive win for Fulchester. This mind, they need at least 2 or 3 wins in the next 5 to keep touch with the top 6. I think they're on 12 points at the minute as it stands. So yeah, they need games like this where they win against the grain.
So Frey there on a 9, proving. I know he's very chalk and cheese with some managers. There's some really like him, some really don't. So this is one of his better performances. Gattuso struggling in the midfield, very, very average for the Exiles. But as neither manager are here, let's roll straight on to 60 and see what happens next. Not much in the first 7 or 8 minutes of the second half. And there's Zambrotta levelling things up. He's hit it from distance, and it is 1-1. Literally just going to show the ratings and the conditions. So when the managers watch this back, they could see what happened. Now the Exiles, still very average for Exiles, but they have got that crucial goal. I always panic with theirs as well when I see random players' names up here that I've put the wrong player in goal or something.
Yeah, always a bugbear of Ryan that he never shut up about
that. Let's resume, see what happens in the last half an hour of this game. I do feel there's another goal coming, but who it's for, I could not guess at this point.
Fulchester feel on top, yeah.
Fulchester do, but Exiles look dangerous when they go forward. Slow it down a little bit. Zambrotta, good challenge from Vialli. Crespo now, he goes down, yellow card, free kick to the home side. 4 minutes being added on. Ronaldo's free kick bounced off the wall. We're into the added time now. Tomazi, Crespo gets a touch. Gattuso, Richie Wellens.
Go on, Richie.
Foul by Nesta. Ronaldo lines up the free kick. Beckham. Veron heads it clear. Are we going to get very, very late drama in this final game of the night? Zambrotta, Anelka's put it wide.
Horribly wide.
Santos though, Veron. Cambiasso. Anelka! Oh, it's gone flying over the bar.
And fucking Anelka. He's just literally the ink's drying on his Fulchester contract, and he's
the final game of the night finishes 1 apiece. Exiles probably shaded it, and you wouldn't have argued the winner had they got it, but Anelka just could not find his shooting boots tonight. Last one went quite quickly with the managers not about, but some good performances, Dimble. I mean, looking at Fulchester here, Tudor 9, Vialli 9 as well. And considering they played, 65 minutes essentially with 10 men, decent result.
Yeah, amazing. You got your 2 centre-backs on your DM and in that formation are absolutely crucial. I don't think Tudor's possibly up to it over the run of the season, but he's turned up tonight, and that's been the difference in terms of getting a point. Great performance.
Veron signing off. He's been superb for Exiles over the last season and a half, Duggan, and he signs off with a fine performance. Yeah,
what a player. I think Haggis are going to certainly feel very different in that first 11 with him in there, but I don't know what Macca's submission was, Fifey, in terms of tactic file or just moving players around or whatever, but Ronaldo seemed to be on every dangerous free kick there, and you've got Beckham sitting there. Even Richie Wellens is 20 for set pieces. I couldn't work that out there. And every one of them went into the wall, I think. So he'll be, and I think Rox will be fuming when he watches that back, because Rox would have naturally tried to put 3 up top, I think, as soon as the red card happened.
Yeah, 100%. I was thinking that it definitely would have been a 3 up top for Rox there, chasing the game against 10 men. Definitely would have been 3 up top. So that means a fairly quiet night in terms of the goals. Not many high numbers this game week, but the classifieds are in. Badgers 0, Vikings 1, Dudley 1, East Coast 1, Foss 0, Haggis 2, Fulchester 1, Exiles 1, LSK 1, Sancte 3,
Burn 1, Stackington 1, Sloths 1, Stanley 1. That leaves the league table looking like this. Vikings top, 29 points. 5-point gap to second. Burn on 24. Haggis 23. Stanley 21. Badgers 21. And Coast 20 make up the top 6. Sancte in 7th, also on 20. Just on goal difference. Dudley Hill 18. Foss Road 17. Sloth 16. Exiles 14. Fulchester 13. Stackington in 13th on 10. And LSK now 4 points adrift. Still just that one solitary win this season. They are on 6 points. The fixtures for Thursday, where comms are available. So if you're interested, do drop me a message to let me know. It's Dudley Hill versus Exiles, Foss Road, Coast, Fulchester Stanley, LSK Haggis, Burn Badgers, Sancte Vikings, and Sloths Stackington. Gents, really appreciate it. I know how much you both enjoy Saturday Super League. So while I just flick through these screens, Dimble, I'll start with you. Any final comments?
No, thanks for having us. It's been good to do a Saturday show. It feels a bit more like old times, so appreciate that. Yeah, good. Loved it.
And of course, I will start processing the transfers when I do the next set of packs, which I'll probably do tomorrow, given it's fairly late already. Look at that. I can see us 3 red cards. Ridiculous. Duggan, any final comments from yourself?
No, mate, cheers for the Saturday show. Like Dimble said, it felt like the kind of halcyon days of the lockdown days there tonight, mate. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, cheers as always for all the graft you put in, mate. Not looking forward to playing Vikings on Thursday, but I think the record against Jens is all right, so we'll give it a bash. We just can't get into the top 6 this season. We've been round 7th for about the last 11 game weeks. Even when we're well, we just can't get into the top 6. It's nuts.
No, you have not touched the top 6 all season, as you say, despite the...
It's not allowed until the second half of the season, Duggan. You're not allowed to.
Game week 20, innit? Yeah, standard.
Well, I very much enjoyed it. Thank you both very much for your time this evening. Thank you to everyone who's joined us in the chat. I will see you again on Thursday. But until then, from Super League HQ, good night.